On May 19, 1780, the sky over New England went dark in the middle of the day. People believed it was the end of the world. And on that day, one elderly couple, married for 40 years.
On May 19, 1780, the sky over New England went dark in the middle of the day. People believed it was the end of the world. And on that day, one elderly couple married for 40 years finally said to each other the one thing they had never said before. This is a true story. Let's go back to that morning, May the 19th, 1780. On a small farm in Connecticut, an old married couple was doing what they had done nearly every morning for 40 years, eating breakfast in comfortable silence. Ethan was 71. Martha was 68. They had raised 4 children on this land, buried 2 of them, and outlived most of their neighbors. Neither of them knew that before the sun set again, they would tell each other the one thing they had never said in 40 years of marriage. It was Ethan who noticed it first. Out in the yard feeding the chickens, he looked up and saw the sun. Not yellow, but a strange, deep red, as if it were rising and setting at the same time. The birds had gone quiet. Not one crow, not one sparrow. The hens refused to leave the coop. Down the road, a neighbor rode past, shouting that the church bells had begun to ring, though it was not Sunday, and no one had rung them. Ethan stood in the yard a long moment, feed bucket forgotten in his hand. By noon, it was as dark as midnight. Candles had to be lit just to see across the room. Martha reached for the family Bible, her hands trembling. Ethan tried to steady his voice, but even he could not stop his hands from shaking as he lit the candles, one by one. Outside the window, there was nothing left of the day at all. It was, by every appearance, the end of the world. They sat together at the table, candlelight the only light in the world. Martha broke the silence first. "Ethan," she said, "if this truly is Judgment Day, is there anything you regret?" He laughed, the way he always did, when a question cut too close. But when he looked at her face, he saw she wasn't joking. The candle between them flickered, but neither one looked away. The silence stretched long enough that even the darkness outside seemed to be listening. So Martha spoke first. She told him she had known for nearly 40 years about the woman he had loved before her, the one whose name he still said sometimes in his sleep. She had never once brought it up, not on their wedding day, not through 4 children, 2 graves, and 40 harvests. "I let you believe I never knew," she said, "because I decided a long time ago that it didn't matter. More than this, you staying." Ethan sat in silence for a long moment. Then, for the first time in 40 years, he told her the truth she had already known. That he had chosen her, again, every single morning since, not out of duty, but because somewhere along the way, she had simply become the only person he could not imagine a life without. Outside, the darkness reached its peak. Somewhere in the village, people were praying aloud, certain the end of the world had come. Inside the small farmhouse, Ethan and Martha simply held hands. "If this is truly the end," Ethan whispered, "then I am glad it is your hand I am holding." For one long moment, neither of them was afraid anymore. Just after midnight, the darkness lifted, as strangely as it had come. By morning, the sun rose pale and ordinary, as if nothing at all had happened. Ethan and Martha stood at the window together, watching the light return to their fields. Neither of them said much. There was nothing left that needed saying. The candles on the table had burned down to nothing, unnoticed. Months later, the 2 of them sat together on their porch, watching another ordinary sunset. "That day," Ethan said quietly, "thank you for finally saying it." Martha only smiled and took his hand. Historians would later explain the darkness of May 19th, 1780. Smoke from distant forest fires, thick fog, low cloud cover. A rare but entirely natural event. But for one old couple in Connecticut, that day was never really about the sky. It was the one day in 40 years of marriage that the dark finally let them see each other clearly.
If this story moved you, subscribe for more true stories, quietly remembered. Tell us in the comments, and we'll bring you the next one soon.